Are you unknowingly sabotaging your own business when you're hiring an online business manager? As an online business manager, I've worked with different business owners, different industries, and I've learned a common mistake or multiple mistakes that are common throughout multiple industries that business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants are making when they're hiring online business managers. And I want to help you out so that if you're considering hiring an online business manager, you don't repeat those same mistakes. And if you've already hired an online business manager, I want you to be able to now reevaluate, reassess before you begin to make certain decisions. Okay. And so, mistake number one, you thought or you may think that an OBM is the magical solution to your problem. You may think that they're the quick fix that is going to take your business from where it is now to perfection. I hate to break it to you, but that's not what is going to happen. I don't care what the people are saying. I don't care what the OBMs are saying. I do not care. Hiring the OBM and expecting them to change your business around in 30 days is crazy, right? I know there's a lot of people, I've seen them where they're like, hey, I'm going to put you on a trial for 30 days and then we're going to see if this is going to work, right? And after the 30 days, you're like, well, I thought I was going to have all these systems. I thought I was going to have all these processes. I thought all of these things are going to be automated. And then you realize that that didn't happen. Let me tell you why. An OBM works with you first and foremost. They're not working independent of you. They're here to work with you. And their goal is to create structure and to create order in your business. But they need your input. They need to know your goals and your vision, and they need your commitment to the process. The process doesn't look like 30 days. I'm just going to be real with you. The process isn't a 30-day process. Now, if you're intentionally working with an OBM to build out a system for you, that could take 30 days, right? Because beforehand, they're going to get all of the information they need, and then they can now work independent of you because they're doing a system build out. They probably pre-qualified you before saying yes. They probably also have asked you to submit a form or have had some sort of a consultation or call with you to map out this thing with you, right? And so now they're not doing a done with you service. It turns into a done for you service, okay? And so if they're doing a build out for you, or if they're doing like a project like, hey, I want you to create a process in a system or SOPs for this process or this project that I'm working on, or if you're like, hey, I'm about to start hiring and I need you to come in for 30 days, 60 days, and I need you to come and create all of these SOPs to create, support me with the job descriptions and all of these things so I can know who I need to hire first. I need to be able to train them on my business in X amount of days. Like, these are the things your OBM is here to help you with, okay? When you're thinking about an OBM, you need to be thinking about them as your business partner, as a strategic business partner, okay? They're not a one-person miracle worker. They're not your personal or executive assistant. They are here to collaborate with you, and that's when the real results begin to happen. But it's going to happen with collaboration. So if you're not meeting with your OBM weekly or bi-weekly at bare minimum, there's going to be some issues come the 30, 60, 90 days. That's why you see a lot of OBMs, they're like, hey, for these retainer projects or these retainer services, we require a commitment of at least 90 days. Why? Because in those first 30 days, once you hire me, let me speak for myself. If you're hiring me in the first 30 days, I can get something done. But in that first 30 days, I am learning your current systems, your current processes, and I am doing an audit of all that you do, of what's going great, what's going wrong, what do you want to see. I am now doing all of that. I'm understanding what your goals are, what your vision is for your business, for this project, for this launch. I'm now understanding all of those things. So now, even when we're building out the systems, when we're building out the processes, when we're creating the SOPs, now I know how to more align what we're building with where you want to go. Okay. So that's mistake number one. You thinking the OBM is the quick fix and that they're going to get this thing done in 30 days. And if you don't see the results you were expecting, if your business hasn't did a complete 180, they out the door. They wasn't a good fit. They didn't do their job. And that's not the case. Okay. That's mistake number one that businesses are making when they're hiring online business managers. If you are on the verge of hiring, do not make that mistake. So now let's get into mistake number two. Mistake number two is I see this often, and that's you're hiring too early. You're hiring too early. If your business isn't ready for an online business manager, hiring won't fix that problem. Okay? It's not going to fix it. And so, like I mentioned, OBMs are strategic business partners. And what are they going to do, or who are they for? They are for businesses with established workflows, not perfect workflows, not workflows that are making sense in their business. They are for people who understand or can articulate, this is what I do. This is what I currently do. This is my process. This is how I currently do hiring. This is how I currently do launches. This is how I currently support my online community. This is how I currently get leads. This is how I currently serve my clients. That you have workflows already in place. Okay. Another thing, not only do OBMs need to come in with businesses with established workflows or who understand or have an idea of what they want those workflows to be, and they just need a little extra support figuring out what it needs to look like. That's different. Okay. They also need to come into businesses with consistent income. If you're someone who's like, I'm making a consistent 4 figures, quarter one, quarter two, I don't have no money coming in. Quarter three, I might have a consistent 3 figures. Quarter five, it may go back up to you know what I'm saying? Like, they need to come into a business with consistent income. And you're like, what does that have to do with anything? If your business isn't making consistent income, a lot of the times OBMs are going to recommend certain platforms. They're going to recommend you put in place certain automations. They're going to recommend, like, hey, you may need to delegate X, Y, and Z. They may recommend some things that's going to require you even more income. You're going to need more income to be able to put certain things in place. So you may have a lot of OBMs who specialize in Dubsado, right? First of all, if you're not using Dubsado and you hire an OBM who's like Dubsado, now that's another expense that you need to have income to be able to pay. Because yes, they can build out Dubsado and make it perfect for your business. They can make your stuff, your onboarding, they can make your providing a service, moving forward with new clients, they can make all of those things a seamless process with Dubsado. But Dubsado costs money. It does. Those Zapier automations, they cost money. It do. And if you're not bringing in consistent income, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're like, okay, I'm canceling Dubsado every other month. And now the next time you try to get it back, they'll increase the price. So now you're losing more money than you would if you wasn't doing it. Now, there are some OBMs who are going to come in, they're going to listen. You using 8 different platforms, I can tell you how to make 3. So they're coming in, they're going to save you money, right? But even with that, you still need some sort of consistent income. I'm not going to tell you a price because that's between you, your expenses, your income, your budget, and who you hire. But it needs to be consistent. So if you saying, hey, right now I need support because I'm trying to take my business from a consistent $700 a month to a consistent $1,800 a month, then you might find somebody who's like, hey, I'm willing to work with you so I can show you like how you can do this, because now you're not going to have to worry about creating proposals and sending contracts and all of the things is going to be handled for you. So now you're going to save at least an hour a week by not having to do that, you know? Boom. Also, the right person and wrong timing, it don't go together. Because there's going to be OBMs that you're like, I really want to work with this person. There's going to be people who you're like, man, I know this person is a good fit for my business. I want to work with them. Yeah, but is it the right time to now bring them on? Because when you hire somebody in the wrong timing, that's going to be a recipe for frustration. Why? Because if someone is like, hey, I have a 3-month minimum retainer fee or a service fee, and you're like not bringing in consistent income, and now you've hired them too early, now you, first of all, you're not sticking to your commitment because you're saying, yeah, I can do the 3-month commitment, but now it's month 2 and you're like, my budget, I can't afford you no more. I just seen someone post on Threads and they was like, man, I had the perfect fit OBM. I had the perfect fit OBM, perfect. We're like a match made in heaven. I just could no longer afford her retainer fee because the income wasn't as consistent. You know, we know life happens, things change, you know, and it is what it is, right? But make sure you're keeping that in mind and you're putting goals and things in place that are sustainable. And I'm going to talk more on sustainability because a lot of times we're building businesses without sustainability in mind. And then every year we find ourselves trying to do something different because the thing that we built the previous year wasn't sustainable. So we have to hire with a sustainability plan in mind. Okay. Boom. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is expecting them to be your assistant. So I mentioned this before. We are your strategic business partner. OBMs, because I do virtual assistants and I do OBM. I have different packages, right? OBMs are very different than assistants. Quick public service announcement. Quick public service announcement. An OBM isn't there to grab your coffee, to check your emails, it's a difference. It's a difference. And I know we have a lot of people in the industry nowadays and they're doing everything. We have a lot of people who are charging you lower rates and you're like, well, that's affordable for me, so let me hire them. And then what you see is they're doing all of the things. They're checking your emails, they're answering phone calls. If they're working with you in-house, they are going to grab your coffee. They may be running your errands for you. They're doing all of the things. So they're like basically, hey, the executor in your business. If you got something on the to-do list that can be delegated to them, you're doing it. They're doing it. Hey, I need you to go pick up my child. Okay, girl, I'm finna go get him. What? What? And so OBMs are not that. They're not that. And I'm sorry if y'all been experiencing the OBMs who do all the things. Even for me in my business, like I said, because I operate as an executive assistant, an executive virtual assistant, and I operate as an online business manager or operations associate, what that looks like for me when I am writing my contracts and letting them know my scope of work, they're able to choose when I send them their proposal what that scope of work looks like based on my skill set. So I have clients who hire me for a service for online business management, right? But I also, because it's included in their scope of work, I also check their emails. And you're like, well, girl, you just contradicted what you just said. No, I didn't. they hire me as their online business manager. That's the main service or package they created. Before they signed the proposal, they said, I also want you to do inbox management. And so I created different packages that aligns with the two things I offer: executive assistance, online business management. With executive assistance, I do check inboxes. I do support with taking notes in your meetings. I will support you with doing random things. It's all virtual for me though. But that's because you signed up, you are in a package deal with me, and that scope of work includes those things. And the price reflects those things. Versus, hey, I'm only your online business manager. So now I'm creating a boundary and I'm saying, hey, I'm not checking your emails. I'm not answering phone calls. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z for you because that's not what I'm here for. So if you're someone who's offering a service, if you're an online business manager or virtual assistant, you get to choose what you want to do. And I think that's why people get confused, because you can choose what you want to do. You can say, hey, I'm going to do everything. I'm just a virtual assistant. What you need me to do? Let's put it in the scope of work, in the proposal, in the contract, and then let's do it. To each his own. But if you're expecting someone who's only saying, hey, I'm only your OBM, you only signed up for this package, be okay with the boundary that they set when they say no to being your assistant. We got it. We cool. Because here's the difference, y'all. There are high-level strategists or OBMs who are focused on managing the operations and the growth of your business. They are not there to do administrative tasks. Then you got some low-level strategists, right? They're here to do some assistance with your operations, with the growth of your business, but they started off all administrative. So you have different level of OBMs. You have different level of strategists. You got OBMs who are straight strategy, and they're coming in as a consultant in your business. They're not even coming in to put the systems in place. They're just telling you this is what you need. They're consulting you. So then you got to know what level of an OBM or strategist you need for your business. How much do you need them to take on? All of that stuff should be communicated during the discovery call, during their form, whatever forms they have set up to get you started. Okay. Last thing I'll say for mistake number 3 is when you hire an OBM, respect their role and let them do what they're great at. And that's running the business side of your business. That's what it is. I used to also offer a customer service management role. And I remember this person was hiring for customer service. And so I was like, you know what, let me just, at that time, I had a lot of free time on my hands. And I was like, okay, let me just work with this person. I'm very good at what I do when it comes to customer service. And so I was like, okay, boom, I'm going to apply. I got it. And what I realized, this person was not a person who allowed you or respected your role and allowed you to do what you're great at. They wanted you to do what they wanted you to do. They didn't want any suggestions. They didn't want any recommendations to make their business better or to make this department better. When you hire someone and you don't give them that opportunity to now grow and operate in their zone of genius, you're going to see friction. Why? Because you hired me to do customer service, but you still trying to do customer service. If you wanted to do it, why did you hire somebody else? And this is where enter the micromanager. And I have content about micromanagement on my Threads page, and Instagram, I think. So you can go check that out. It's all at the Empire Effect Agency. But before I let you go, I did want to give you one more mistake, and that's mistake number 4. It's giving zero direction. Y'all, outside of the fact that OBMs are leaders and not assistants, OBMs are also not mind readers. We can't read your mind. We might be able to ask you some guiding questions to get the things out of your head so we can put some direction into effect. But if you hire an OBM and you just say, I need you to fix my business, don't be surprised when your business is not being fixed in the way that you wanted it to be. That's with anything, y'all. In the Bible, because I'm a Christian. In the Bible, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, it says, verse 2, write the vision, but it doesn't stop there. Some people, you kind of know, like, hey, I need my business fixed. I need systems and automations for my business. And I need it done in the next 90 days. That's your vision, right? You envision a very streamlined, a very organized business. And that's the vision that you have. But if you keep reading, it says, write the vision and make it plain, make it clear, make it concise, make it understandable, make it to the point where someone can get that and run with it. It says so that a herald may run with it. If you wrote a vision, but you didn't make it plain and you still expecting somebody to run with it, you're going to be surprised when nothing happens, and you're going to not take the responsibility, but you're going to shift the blame on that person and be like, well, you said you could do this, but you couldn't. And God forbid you go on the internet and you start saying, well, don't hire this person. And you telling your people in your network, well, girl, don't hire her because she a fraud. No, baby, you a fraud. Okay, but we ain't come talk about that because I get a little too passionate. If you're hiring an OBM, understand that an OBM works best when you give them a clear picture of what you want to achieve. Make it plain, make it plain, make it plain. If y'all don't get nothing else from this video, I need you to have a clear vision, and you need to be able to make it plain. One of the things I started offering even this year, we just at the beginning of the year, but I implemented it last year. The meetings are happening this year for all of my clients. I don't care if you a client who only receiving executive virtual assistance, or if you're a client who's receiving online business management. One of the things I wanted to do for my clients at the beginning of this year was to do a strategic planning session with them. Why am I doing this? Not only to help them gain more structure, more order, and grow in their business, because one of our taglines for the Empire Effect Agency is to help our clients maximize their time, maximize their impact, but then also maximize their revenue, right? With maximizing their impact, that means they have to grow. That means they have to get in front of more people and have their brand being made aware. It needs to be visible, right? They need to be growing in numbers. They need to be growing in the people who put eyes on their business and the people who are actually partaking in the things that they offer, right? Boom. So with that, I began to implement these strategic planning sessions. Why? I need to make sure that you're clear on your business goals for the year. I need to make sure that you're clear on what your priorities are. I need to make sure that we understand what is the prioritized focus for quarter one. What are the things we're going to be saying yes and no to in January, February, and March? Why do I need to be on that call? Because if I can get you to make sure you sit down and write it, now you can give it to me plain and simple. I can run with that. But if I'm just saying, hey girl, you need to do strategic planning, and you like, okay, I know, and you never do it, when I'm asking you, hey, what are the priorities for this quarter? What are the priorities for this year? What should we be focusing on? And you can't give me something. Months and months are going to pass by, and you're going to be like, you're just paying the OBM for free at this point because you got it. It's not making sense, right? And so you need to be able to give your OBM a clear picture so that they can now run with that, and they can know what it is that you want to achieve. And now they can put in the systems that are going to back that up. An OBM is someone who is here to execute, not guess. They're here to execute, not try to figure out what your goal is. This is your business. You are the CEO. You are the visionary. A OBM is coming in to execute. Okay? So set the vision and let them handle the rest. Clarity is not optional when hiring an OBM. It's essential. And you may be like, well, you know, I know what I need to do. I just need to get it out my mind, and I need to, like, it's in there. It's not very clear. Some OBMs will work with you, like those high level strategist ones. We're able to work with you and get those things out of your head. We're able to ask you questions because, yeah, we may not know you want to prioritize your online community this year. You know that. You let me know. I can be like, okay, let me tell you some ideas or recommendations for you to do that. Okay. Clear goals. Say it with me. Clear goals equal clear results with an OBM. That's the 4 mistakes people are making when hiring online business managers. And I want you to take this into consideration if you're looking to hire in 2025. And yeah, don't make these mistakes. All right, y'all. See y'all in the next video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and share this video out for someone who you know is hiring an